Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rasslin and Racin podcast, brought to you live at Arden's Burger and Grill in Central South Carolina. We want to thank you and welcome you here. Great night of just the ultimate professional ladies wrestler and the ultimate tag team wrestlers. So let's get right to it, folks. We're going to go ahead and weigh in on this. We go to the women's division first, and the first match we're going to go over is Gal Kim versus Lita. Rev, what was your thoughts on this particular match?
I really couldn't decide. I really actually asked my kids, hey, who would y'all have win this match? Because it's just me at home before we came to Arden's, and they all said Lita, and my wife said Lita. So I'm going to go with Lita.
Well, we already know the boss is always right. So, folks, we also want to tell you that Lita will win this particular match over Gal Kim. And it was a great match based on what we went over online. We put it through the generator. Lita did come out on top. But we also like to listen to the fans. We also like to listen to the people that are here in Arden's.
And y'all see my beautiful kids sitting right behind me. Y'all wave, kids. Those are my kids and my wife sitting right behind
That's
us.
right. The boss is here. That's why it looks so much better in the background. And that's why Ref is halfway out of the camera. And I want to, let's just turn it over this way a little bit. My beautiful daughter is here tonight. Yes, hello. My beautiful mom and her wonderful husband, Stefano. So we got all the crew here tonight. We appreciate it. And we cannot forget the hosts. We're talking about Donnie, Angie, and Paul of Arden's Burger Grill in Central South Carolina. Folks, if you've never been here, you need to get down here. You need to eat at Arden's Burger Grill in Central. You will not, I'm telling you, you will not say you wasted your time. The best food in this world is right here at Arden's Burger Grill. We're fixing to see some chicken and waffles brought out. I got some boneless buffalo wings over here. We've had peach burgers, we've had hot dogs, we've got grilled cheese, we've got defibrillator burgers, and if you don't know what that is, you're going to see Rep eat one here in a little bit. And if we also have the Paladin burger, the Carolina caviar. And folks, caviar, we say Carolina caviar, we're not talking about fish eggs. We're talking about pimento cheese. That's right. So you're going to love everything that they have here at Arden's Burger Grill in Central South Carolina.
Yes, sir.
There you heard, the peach burger has been screamed out 4 or 5 times tonight already. All right, Ref, let's get to match number 2. And now this match was really what a lot of people wanted to see. You have Charlotte Flair, the queen as they call her, versus Athena, who is the longest reigning world champion ever. That's right, outdoing Roman Reigns right now. So, Ref, in this match, it was very good. What was your thoughts going into who you thought might pull it out?
Well, I personally, if it was just me, I would go with Athena. But looking overall at the general consensus of wrestling, I know that it'd make more sense for Charlotte Flair to win. So, on a personal level, Athena, but on the national level, Charlotte Flair.
And I kind of agree with you there. I think Athena has really come along great. I think she needs to be, when you talk about top wrestlers, you cannot leave Athena out of that top 4. No matter who you put, I mean, we've talked about Becky Lynch, we've talked about Fabulous Moolah, all the great lady wrestlers of the past. You cannot leave Athena out of that top 4.
No, and I wish she could have done more when she was Ember Moon, but she's been so good as Athena, people are going to totally forget her Ember Moon character she had.
And I know someone will say, well, it's ROH. Well, folks, ROH, she has been wrestling in AEW and ROH, taking on stars from all over the world, CMLL, New Japan. So it's not like she's just, taking on people you've never heard of before. She's taking on Dana Perosa. She's taken on Mercedes Moné. She's took on a lot of superstars and won every time.
And that's why I wish Ring of Honor had more exposure and was on TV more, because most people aren't getting to see what she's doing right now.
Exactly. So right now we go, and that's going to be the final. It's going to be Charlotte Flair versus Lita. What a lot of people would love to see was a Lita versus Charlotte Flair. We never got to see it when Lita came back into WWE not too long ago. Flair was out on an injury, so she was not there during that time. So we're going to see that. Well, folks, we're going to shift gears. We're going to go back and get the Final Four of the men's tag team. Now, if a lot of you follow us on Facebook and so forth, you will see that we made sure that Ricky Morton knew about tonight, because the Rock and Roll Express is in this tournament, and they are taking on the Fabulous Freebirds, the version of Michael P.S. Hayes and Jimmy Jam Garvin. Now, they never faced each other per se as a tag team. Whenever it was Hayes and Garvin, it was more of a Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy, and Buddy Roberts back whenever Rock and Roll was there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ricky teamed with Terry Taylor versus Garvin and Hayes, but I think that was the only time we seen that version against each other, and that wasn't the Rock and Roll Express. I think Tommy Rich tagged with Ricky Morton against the Freebirds a couple times, but we never really saw the Rock and Roll, Robert Gibson and Ricky Morton. And then we got the bottom half, which is the Steiner brothers and the Midnight Express. I mean, these four teams, Ref, what's your thoughts on the four tag teams? I mean, you can't beat this Final Four.
Well, if I was writing down my list of all-time best tag teams and I had to get down to the Final Four, I would probably have these four tag teams in my personal Final Four. Now, on a personal level, I would lean toward Fabulous Freebirds only because they were the bad guys, and I like the bad guys. But when we do these lists and these categories, it's not all about what we think. We have to think more on a global scale, but on a personal level, I would go with the Fabulous Freebirds.
Well, there you go, folks. And of course, the Midnight Express was bad guys more than they were good, but at the same time, like you said, the Freebirds had a little bit of good side, but they was more of the bad guys. You didn't really see them, especially when it was Hayes, Gordy, and Roberts. They was more of the heel faction, especially in world-class championship wrestling.
And I've always appreciated the fact that Michael P.S. Hayes is the reason why wrestlers today have entrance music, because before the Freebirds, there was no entrance music. You came to the ring with complete silence. So I appreciate Michael P.S. Hayes giving us theme songs.
All right, well, let's get to it, Ref. First match, Fabulous Freebirds, Rock and Roll Express. What was your thoughts going into this match?
Well, I wanted to go with the Freebirds, and I still want to go with the Freebirds, but I know the Rock and Roll Express were probably the most popular ever tag team. But if I was booking the show and it was these two tag teams, I would go with the Fabulous Freebirds.
Me, I was through all this era right here. I lived and breathed all these particular tag teams. That is not why the Final Four is where it is. We had a lot of great tag teams, a lot of new tag teams that was a part of it. But when it came right down to it and the wrestling match generator was done and we came through it, it came up the Rock and Roll Express pulling out the win.
Yeah, and I can see that because they're very, 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 very popular.
Very over.
Very popular.
Yep.
And if they teamed today, they'd still be popular.
Yes, they would. They might not be coming out to Bob Seger's old-timey rock and roll, but it would definitely be one heck of a show. Next up is a match that I was really interested in because this match I would pay a lot of money to watch. Just this match. We're talking about the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott, versus the Midnight Express. This particular Midnight Express was Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane, which is what a lot of people consider the best version, but that is up for a flip of a coin because Condrey was good and what was your thoughts going into this match?
Well, just to show you how popular these tag teams are, y'all see my twins behind us. They're 8 years old. And I asked them, I said, who is the greatest all-time tag team? And both of them said, the Steiner brothers. And they are really, really good, and they were really, really good. And I personally would pick the Steiner brothers because Rick and Scott in their prime, to me, they were the best tag team there was.
And they was one of the first to hold titles in 3 different promotions at the same time because back in the day when it was the Rock and Roll Express and Midnight, a lot of times they didn't allow them to bring those titles over to other federations. They made them, lose them before they came back, or they just didn't let them show. Whereas Rick and Scott, when they was New Japan, they were there was I forgot the other title that they had. They had like 3 different titles, and then they won a 4th one, but then lost to Doom, the World Tag Titles at the time. Well, we put it in the generator. It was a coin flip, folks. That's right, a coin flip. Me and Rev had to talk about it, and the winners was the Steiner brothers.
So the Steiner brothers will be I guess we'll call them the Rasslin and Racin 2026 greatest all-time tag team. And I say that because we're going to be doing this every year. So no matter who wins this, it doesn't matter. We're going to do it again next year.
So now we've got the Rock and Roll Express taking on the Steiner brothers. Very interesting, but before we do that, we're going to go to Ardensburg Grill in Central South Carolina, folks. Donnie and Angie, come down, get you some good old food. They are open here from 8 a.m. up until 8 p.m., and that is Tuesday through Saturday. On Sunday, they are open from 11 to 2. They do meat and three, they do burgers, they do hot dogs, they do wings. You haven't had anything till you've had a double dipped wing from Arden's Burger and Grill in Central South Carolina. My personal favorite, they serve breakfast all day, the s'mores French toast. You cannot beat that. That's right, s'mores French toast. It's some of the best stuff you've ever had. That's here at Arden's Burger and Grill in Central South Carolina. All right, well, let's get on back to the championship match. For the women's division, we've got Charlotte Flair versus Lita. Ref?
I personally would go with Charlotte Flair only because the longevity. I know Lita's still around today, but Lita leaves, she comes back, she leaves, she comes back, she leaves, she comes back. But Charlotte's pretty much outside of injuries. She's been there, consistently now for seems like 10 to 15 years. So because of longevity, I would go with Charlotte Flair.
And if you also count her NXT time too, and she was there for 3 years? I think 3 years. So she's coming up on her 20-year anniversary in professional wrestling. And of course, she is a 14-time women's champion, and I think a 4-time tag champ, if I'm not mistaken on that. I could be wrong on that, folks, as far as tag, but I do know because me and you had the discussion. Now we thought Rick was wanting Charlotte to be the one to break his record, not John Cena.
Yeah.
A couple years ago. All right, ref, we get to the finals. Charlotte Flair, Lita, the winner, and new all-time women's champion, Charlotte Flair. Your thoughts?
Well, I'm fine with that. She's she's a name because she's Rick's daughter. She's one that you can book anywhere, and people would know who she is only because she's Ric Flair's daughter. So it's easy to make money on something like that because she's got name recognition. So I'm fine with that. But like I said a while ago when I jumped the gun on the tag team match, was we're going to be doing this again next year. It may not be the exact same format and the exact same matches, but it'll still be a women's tournament. So if you don't like Charlotte winning, next year we'll do it all over again.
And we'll have new stars in it. We'll take some out, add some in, because by then some stars will be able to qualify for it, and we won't go back as far. There's going to be different variations of how we're going to do this each and every year. So understand, get on Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube and vote. It's very important that you do that. Your votes count, but if you don't vote, we can't tell you anything.
And we know we left some tag teams off. We left some women off. But when you get asked who's the best all-time wrestler, unless you're looking at a list of everybody ever wrestled and you're just going off memorization, you're going to leave somebody out. And then when you realize it, you've already started the bracket, so you can't go back and start all over again. So you just got to add them the next time you do it.
Exactly. And now we get to the men's tag team world championship match. We have the Steiner brothers versus the Rock and Roll Express. This is a big primetime clash. Who you got in this particular match?
That's a match that I would absolutely love to see, but I would go with the Steiner brothers only because of the size. To me, they would overpower Ricky and Robert. Ricky and Robert combined, put together, probably don't weigh as much as Rick did. So I would go with the Steiner brothers only because of the power advantage.
Well, the Rock and Roll Express also took on the Road Warriors a long time ago. They took on the Russians. They took on different tag teams that were bigger than them. Sometimes they won, sometimes they lost. So they have been in there with big teams. But I agree with you. The Steiner brothers, a little bit overpowering, a little bit of what the crowd would want. Booking, they've been good, they've been bad. Rock and Roll was always a good guy team. The Steiner brothers are your new all-time world tag team champions. And Ref, I tell you what, this particular show was fun to do. But now we're tell them a little bit about your YouTube while I pull up our next thing.
All right, if y'all haven't seen me before, you can check me out on YouTube at Ref Brandon and the Todd Family. And I promise I don't normally wear my ref shirts in these videos. But my wife said, hey, we're going to Arden's. We're going to see Jay. Why don't you wear your ref shirt? So I did. But I don't typically wear my ref shirts in my videos. But on my channel, I talk college football, NFL, NASCAR, wrestling. I do top 10 countdowns that may not be about any kind of sport at all. I talk baseball, basketball. So it's a variety on the channel.
All right, folks. And before we go, we want to go over what's going to start next week. And that is the Rasslin Racing Podcast Greatest Men's Wrestler Tournament. This is a field of 68. We had 4 independent superstars, which one of them might not be independent by the time we get to it, because he is right now, what we understand, in the WWE development and possibly going to be going up to NXT or the main roster. You never know. But we have the Giants division. Then we also have the Bad division. I'm sorry, I will not scream this out. We got kids here. And then we have the Attitude division, and then we also have the Legends division. Now, if you want to know who all's in these divisions, you need to go to Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube. Look for their little thing that's off to the side beside podcast, and you will see a thing. You also see it right here on the on the Rasslin Racing Podcast. It'll be on our link on there. We'll also be sharing it all over Facebook. If you go to Greenville Sports Media Facebook channel, we'll also have it on all of the Greenville Sports Media YouTube channels. That's from Dallas. We're talking about Greenville Sports Media, the GSM Sports 13 channel. All the channels will have it on there. So we are going to start Monday night with the Giants division for people to start voting on, and also we'll start with the Legends division. So 2 divisions will start next week. You tell us who you want to see as the champion come December, because on the second Tuesday of December we'll be back here at Arden's, and fans, we're going to have some fun that night. We're going to have a loaded house. We're going to have wrestlers here. We're going to have referees here. We're going to have good food here. So if you want to be here, show up. And we're going to start early that night. So make sure you're here for Ardensburg and Grill's all-time championship night. Rasslin Racing's podcast will be here. Ref, we're going to have some fun then, because we're going to have the final 8 to the championship that night. Only one person will emerge when the night's over with. We're going to get wrestlers to give us their thoughts. We're hoping to have some possible former big-time wrestlers here. We don't know yet. We put the call in for it. We're going to have some of the independent superstars. We're going to have some independent referees. We're going to have a great time, folks. Make sure you're here, Ardensburg Grill in Central South Carolina. Well, folks, that's it for tonight. We want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this show. Thank you for supporting us. Make sure you go and like, subscribe. Tell us what your thoughts are. Did we get it right? Did we get it wrong? We don't care. Just tell us what you think, because next time, your thoughts could be the reason why we put somebody else in that spot.